Bay Area represent. We've got another Mojo Sessions. We got Nature Loves You from Instagram, one of my favorite content creators. If you haven't checked him out, he's got some of the funniest videos in the hobby, man. And we'll talk some of that. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some Fanatics, man. How you doing? You just got back from Disneyland, dude. So how was it?
It was fun. It was actually my birthday. We were there for 3 days. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm a fan of
No problem.
Mojobreak. Appreciate you. Bay Area stand up, right?
That's right, man. That's right.
Yeah, it was. The trip was fun. Like I said, it was my birthday. We were there for 2 days. We made the drive from the Bay to LA, and we had a good time.
Favorite ride?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably. I was gonna say Space Mountain, but I think Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. That's like
That was tough to
as
beat.
as a lifelong Star Wars fan, that is literally the ride that I've always wanted growing up. You know what I mean? Like it's chef's kiss, perfection.
It is, and that new Mickey ride's pretty fun too, man. They
It
did
is.
that one pretty well. It is.
It is.
It's very
Yeah,
nice.
I like that
It
one
is.
too. And it's cool because like the kids could ride that too. So yeah, that's a good
Yep,
one.
exactly. Yeah, mine are finally like over 44 inches, so like I can get them on most rides. But
Oh,
so
nice.
you know,
My
yeah.
3-year-old is this close to getting there.
Yep, yeah. You're like just
Yeah.
counting it down. So hopefully they're not scared because my big one's like, I don't know if I want to ride Indiana Jones, even though she can ride it now. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that ride. I love
that's
that ride.
amazing.
My mom used to sneak me in when I was a kid, even though I was a little under. I don't think you can do that nowadays, though. I don't think you could.
No, they're pretty technical on it, right? Like maybe get some thicker shoes or something to prop them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But well, we talked Bay Area, and I want to know what's one saying or word you hear that you know somebody is from the Bay.
Oh, hella, hella is
Yep,
like that's number one. That and it's like global at this point. You know what I
it
mean?
is.
And it's crazy because I remember I heard Taylor Swift say it in the song, and I was like, that didn't even sound right. It's like,
Yeah,
I,
right. Well, what are you doing? Hanging out in San Francisco too much? Hanging out in the
I
Bay?
think I think it was the song "Shake It Off," and she goes, and so the fella over there with the hella good hair, and I'm like,
That's
hella
right.
good hair.
Yep, yep.
I've never heard anyone say it like that. You know what I mean? Hella good hair, but I'm a
She was
Swiftie,
probably
so I
just
thought it
writing
was
it all down. What rhymes with fella? And they're like, got to
yeah.
use hella,
Oh,
but that is from the Bay Area. Are you okay with that? She's like, all right, yeah,
exactly.
I kind of am. Yeah.
Yeah, that's number one. That's got to be.
Yeah, I can't dispute that. I mean, I think I was saying that in high school. Still say it. Some people say like on my mama. Like I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
typically use that, but some people
Oh
say
I
that.
yeah. I think there's a lot of lingo that we use that still might not be as global as hella. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hella is like
Yeah.
if you hear anyone say that, you either are from the Bay or you got it from the Bay. You know what I mean?
Right. You got a
So
friend from the Bay. 100%. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it's funny how people pick up things and I mean, you could also say like the too short, but we can't, I mean, I try to keep it
oh
PG on the podcast,
yeah.
but
Well, I'm
you
happy
know,
you said that because most podcasts I end up slipping. So thank you for
I mean, we could
for
too. We
asking
could
that
too.
before you started.
My producer and everything is like, oh, I'm gonna bleep it out, but we could throw a few of them in there. So
Uh, I'm
on
having a
the
great
flip,
time already. I'm having a great
right?
time
I know.
already.
Hey,
Let's
we get to
go.
talk about Bay, and man, it's great. I mean, on the flip side, we're gonna flip this to hobby. What's one word or saying in the hobby that you can't stand?
Oh man. Um, dang, that's a great question. No one's ever asked me that. I think the word grail gets thrown around a little too loosely nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
but I will say I respect it. Like if that's your grail, then so be it. But when you think grail, you're thinking like huge card. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I just think the
Not
word
just
gets
not like
thrown
a
around.
hollow Tyler Hero or something. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I mean?
yeah.
A base Zion Prism PSA 10, like that ain't no grail, dog. You know what I mean?
Right. I
But
guess that's in the eye of
um,
the beholder, but yeah, I don't think I would be throwing that around unless it like is. And you're right. Like you see so many of these sets coming out. That's my grail. Well, then there's another grail. Then there's another grail. It's like
yeah,
how many dang grails can we have, right?
yeah, I think
So
that's what I would do. Wait, what's yours? What's yours? Let me ask you. What's yours?
I've been trying to get away from "let's go." You know what I mean? But it's like it's like one of those things that you're like in the moment, you say it, and you got. I was trying to I was limiting myself to one "let's go" a week, and now I've said it 3 times. Because it's so
Yeah.
cliche that everybody says breakers say "let's go" or hobbyists say "let's go," and I'm like trying to figure out a different word to say.
Or bang, right?
Right, right, yeah. Like I
Everyone
feel
says
like we're so
bang.
primitive. Like those have been the words for 5-10 years now, and there's like somebody needs to create, like we need like an E40 in the hobby, right? Like we
Oh
need somebody
yeah,
like to have a hobby
that
dictionary.
would be awesome. Shout out to Uncle Earl.
Yeah. And we get him on a podcast and have him make some words up or something, right? So
Oh, he's a co-founder or like investor in the Lumpia company. If you didn't know
in a
that.
lumpia company.
Yeah, so for our Filipino
Nice.
listeners watching this, he is like I don't know if he invested or co-founded. I mean, I guess that could be both, right? But
Yeah.
he is a part of the Lumpia company, so
Hey, now
that's
I'm hungry
cool.
for lumpias. My aunt makes some amazing. She's Filipino. She makes a lot of some amazing lumpia. So
Oh,
that,
nice.
that
Yeah,
sounds
okay.
amazing.
Are you Filipino or are you honorary?
I'm honorary. I'm
Okay,
honorary.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah,
Much
and she
love.
made the banana roll thing too. She made that
Oh
pretty good. Oh
man,
God.
my diabetic ass should not be eating that, man. But it's delicious.
Yeah, it's not I'm 41. I gotta stay away from that stuff too. So you know what I mean? Gotta watch the figure, the dad bod. So but yeah, man, I mean, I love the content. The Panini Blind Kaboom video was hilarious. The GameStop video. What inspires you to make the satire content?
Man, to be honest, I really just like entertaining people. I like making
Yeah.
people laugh, especially in the hobby. You hear about like so much drama and BS. And I mean, that's why I had my name Nature Loves You. So that way, every time you see it, nature loves you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just all about like positive vibes. Even though ironically, those skits, I am making fun of people or
Yeah.
companies. But and first of all, it's never like ill intentions, if that makes sense. It's kind of like SNL, Saturday Night Live. It's all just for fun. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just see people like complaining about things, and I figured why not try to lighten it up and make it a joke.
Yeah. Well, I think we do a lot of the same stuff. We have like our dirt character that we do, and you just can't take things like too serious in the hobby, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. And you're right.
Yeah,
You see a lot of negativity about like just all these different things, like whether it be like, oh, breakers get all these, the best cards, or all the card
I did
companies
a
are
skit on
screwing
that.
me.
I
Huh?
did a skit on that with Michael. I portrayed Michael Rubin, and it was about influencer cards or influencer boxes,
Okay.
and that skit did pretty well too. That
I
was
gotta
fun.
watch that one too, man. That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. What was the take on it? We're just juicing up the boxes for you. Go ahead and put it online, or
Yeah. So first, I was wearing all white, obviously the all white
yep,
party.
yep.
And there was, I guess, somebody who would seed out influencer boxes to breakers on Fanatics Live. And the joke was that the breaker got the box for free and there was no hits. And like he's just talking shit about uh the box, saying I paid for this, and Ruben's like, "What? Like you paid for it?" And the other guy's like, "No, we gave it for free." And it was just like Ruben getting pissed. Like the influencer boxes are supposed to get the loaded, or the influencer breakers are supposed to get the loaded boxes because it pumps up the product so more people could buy it, and all these average Joes get nothing. And
Yeah. I'm sure your
that was the
comments
joke.
were full of people going, "You're right. He
Yeah,
knows it."
yeah, it was,
Everybody in
man.
the comments like, "This guy gets it."
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like a video I made the other day about the Niners going 17-0, and then like all the scores were like 50-0, like on my predictions. And then some guys like, "You can't be serious about." I'm like, "I'm not serious. Like it's satire, guys." It's funny how some people
yeah,
take it like a different way, right?
yeah. First of all, I would love for that to happen.
Right, right. Yeah, of course. It's not going to happen. I'm realistic, but
Yeah.
like my whole point of view was like
Oh,
I am an unrealistic homer. Like, because that's what a lot of fans
yep.
are, right? So but yeah, I
Yeah.
got those
I'm actually scared to
videos of
watch
the
this
screenshots in
season.
the background, guys. You got to check it out. Nature Loves You on Instagram and watch these videos. They'll make you laugh, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Um, so how do you, between all this, you're active on social media, you're doing breaks, and you're making time for the fam as you just got back from Disneyland. Any advice on like work-life balance and how do you achieve
Oh man, I'm still trying to figure that out to this day. It's tough. It's tough because I also break, so like I have to sort all those cards and like ship them out. I do have buddies who help me, so that makes it easier. Um, I think the best form of advice I could give is try to create a schedule.
that?
Like for example, so I have a 3 year old, a 2 year old, and a 14 year old. The
Jeez,
14 year
busy.
old in high school. My wife is a nurse, so she's at work in the daytime. I'm with the two babies throughout the day. I'm stay at home dad. I do this full time, and I'll even try to make content, and I'm just like, please, just stop talking, please. Like, you know what I mean? And this is
Yeah,
PG. I'm not saying I curse my kids out, right? But like, it's
yeah,
tough, especially when you're
yeah.
trying to do what I'm doing, where you're trying to do it in less takes, right?
Right.
So I have that to do. And then if it gets too difficult, once my daughter comes home from high school or from school, she pretty much watches them while I just bang out content or a break or stuff like that. So I think
Nice.
you
Nice.
definitely have to find a rhythm because it gets overwhelming if you have a lot to do.
Yeah, yeah, I can see you trying to do those takes because I've recorded stuff and it's like some days it comes like in one take and then some days it's like on the 80th take, right? So if you're getting interrupted, it's
Yeah,
like or
yeah.
you're editing and you're like,
Especially
man, I cut that off.
yeah, with my skits, I'll write kind of like a script, but of course, while you're recording, you're just adding more to it. So like these 2 minute videos could sometimes take. I mean, it's not like 15 minutes is longer, but still, like because you're like improvising on the fly.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, every video that I've done, even to the Kaboom one a couple days ago, to the GameStop one, every video I do, as soon as I'm done, I go, damn, it could have been better.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
almost
yeah.
like
Yep.
it's like a gift and a curse. Like it doesn't matter if so many people like it. It's just in my mind. I go, damn, I could have did this better. This edit could have been a little more cleaner. The delivery could have little, but that's why I'm trying to make every video I do better than the last one. If that makes sense.
Well, it's a mind of a perfectionist, right? You can't really like be stagnant and be like, yeah, that was great, and it wasn't, but like yours was great anyway, but you're still trying to, progress and be better, right? So it's like
Yeah,
taking so I like we do a podcast and sometimes I listen to it back and like, some people are like, why are you listening to yourself back? I'm like, I'm not listening because I want to listen to myself. I want to make sure that I'm, saying things the right way or I'm not stuttering or I didn't have good content. I don't want to watch
yeah,
myself. That's the last thing I want to do, but you want to improve it, right? So
yeah. I mean, I feel like we are our own worst critic. You know,
yeah.
and yeah, like how you listen to your podcast, trying to like be aware of certain things so that way in your mind you don't do it the next one. Same thing with like my videos too. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we do our hour podcast a week, I was like, I'd listen back and I'd be like, man, I said like 10 ums in between the conversation,
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yep,
you know,
yep.
and I probably am going to say some with this one too, but it's like you're just collecting your thoughts. And like, I gotta stop saying, gotta stop saying,
Yeah.
I was actually listening to Gary V's he just came out with a new, book that he's been promoting
Oh
very
wow.
well
Nice.
and it's about social media and branding yourself and like techniques and stuff like that. And he was telling a story of Dogface. I don't know if you remember the guy with the ocean spray on
Yeah. Yeah.
the skateboard. I guess the guy was saying that he was minutes away from not posting that content because he was like, it kind of looks stupid.
Yeah.
And he
That's
posts
crazy.
it, and the rest is history. He has 5 million followers now. He did a song with
Yeah.
Snoop
If you,
Dogg.
if you think about it, that's actually insane, man. It's like,
Yeah,
and that's why like I always give advice to other content people. Especially when you're first starting out, you just have to keep throwing darts at the board. You just never know what's gonna stick, if that makes
Right.
sense. And yeah, that's insane. Can you imagine if he didn't post that? That video went crazy during the pandemic.
It did, and he's got like he had Ocean Spray. Ocean Spray stock went up. Fleetwood Mac
Yep.
was #1 because of the
Yes,
song, and then
yes.
it's like it was such a global, crazy thing that I don't think he had any intention of doing. So I was like, when I heard Gary Vee say that the guy was seconds away from not posting it, I was like, that's a life changing event, and that's the beauty of social media. Yeah, you have to work hard, and you can't just have a hit like that, but like you may have scrapped your hit. You may have scrapped your dog face, right? By like going, no, I don't look good in that, or I said something wrong, and I'm just going to try to do it later, right?
Wow.
So
Dang.
it's tough.
I'm hearing that for the first time. That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually downloaded the audiobook yesterday. I mean, Gary does it was just coming up on my timeline so much. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should listen to this because he knows how to promote, right? It's like coming up on Fanatics Live. It's like coming up on my timeline. It's coming up on Amazon. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start listening to this, see if I have the attention span to get through the whole thing. But I'm like, I'm like an hour through it. And I heard that. I was like, wow, that's valuable that this dude almost didn't post that thing that made him who he is today, that changed his whole life. So
I need to get that book.
yeah. I mean, I'm a simpleton and I like to just listen and I don't want to read. So I did the audio version, but there's the hardcover too. I bought a few for my guys. Say, like, look at this, see if we can improve our Instagram. So, our reels
Yeah.
or TikTok or whatever, right? And take some advice from Gary. So now when
Awesome.
you post, are you doing more reels? Are you doing more stories? Are you doing more posts? Are you doing it all?
I do it all, to be honest. I will say that I do like posting in that minute 30 to 2 minute video, like
Right.
especially for my skits. And my wife, she says like that's too long, right? Like, but as a fan of like SNL or Chappelle Show, Key and Peele, all those skits are like 3, 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Right.
if I could, I would do that. But I know damn well that's even like more difficult, at least on Instagram. So
Yeah, and you
I
almost got
kind
to
of
have that 5 second attention grabber, right? Because then they're already scrolling past your
yeah,
video at that point. So it's
yeah,
it's
and that's
tough. Yeah, I
actually
mean,
how I write it. That I write them like you know the premise, and then I'll do like 4 jokes in my mind about something, plot them in different areas of the skit, and then fill in the gap between. It's like I'm really
oh, okay,
writing like a story, which is crazy. Because I
right,
always like to
right,
end my videos with, one last one. You know what I mean?
right. To leave them on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. I know. Me and Cody, who does a lot of our editing, we'll film something. It's like I don't even know how we can get this to a minute and a half. That's what the challenge is, right? So you're splicing it all up, and you're like cutting room floor on some of them. You're like that might have been gold, but we had to cut it out. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun. So let's take it back. When you started out, what was your motivation to get involved in the hobby?
Oh man. So in the hobby, or how I got started, it was actually through Pokemon. I was
Okay.
watching Pokemon content creators on Instagram, and I started making. Of course, this is during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I started making content, and it's funny because remember back in the day when you go online in Target and they say, oh, you get one per box, and then you kind of have to like go back around, right?
Right.
I would be trading Herbert Burrow Prism Blasters and Megas for other people's Pokemon ETBs, which is crazy
Nice.
when you think
Was that
about it
like
now.
Champions Path back then?
Yes, Champions
Yeah.
Path, Vivid Voltage, and it's crazy when you think about it now because the profit margin on those specific Prism Blasters during the pandemic was crazy, right?
Oh
So I'm
God.
like gifting them that for nothing just for Pokemon. And when it comes to sports, my buddy introduced me to a live break while my wife was giving birth to our now 3-year-old. So I'm just
Jesus.
sitting there on like, the beds that the dads have. And I'm just sitting there watching breaks, joining breaks. And it just kind of went from there.
Nice. Who was that breaker that you saw first? If you want to give him a shout out,
It was bad.
Bay Area Pole.
Yep. It was
Nice.
bad.
Yeah, I love those guys. I gotta get those guys on the podcast too. Those guys are great.
Yeah, it was bad. My buddy Nick, he's the one who sent me the live, and it's funny too. You know what was my first impression when I heard Bab's voice? I go, he sounds like Jonah Hill.
Nice. Doesn't look like Jonah Hill at all, though.
But like, if you guys know Bap, if you've never heard his voice, now that I said that, you're gonna be like, oh damn, he kind of does.
Yeah. I bet you now that I jump in on the, it's funny because I have my notifications off on Instagram, right? So it'll just give me a notification and I'll click in it and I'll be on somebody's live. You're like, because I don't, I have like my stuff like censored, right? So like if my kids see something like a message or whatever, so it'll be like a notification and I was like, oh, let me see what, and then I'm in a live and it's like a lot of times it would be BAP. So I'd be like, all right, I'll check it out, hang out. But now I'm gonna pick that up and be like Jonah Hill. So I'll be like, how was Superbad, man? Like, did you do how was that? How was filming Superbad?
That's so funny.
So you mentioned you do breaks. What's fun about doing breaks, and what's the pain points in doing them?
Well, the fun part is always ripping, no matter what.
Right.
And it's funny. I think my initial comment that I was going to say when you said the worst part would be sorting, but I think it's the time when it's slow and you're waiting for it to fill. That sucks. For example,
Yeah.
if there's pick your teams and you're waiting an hour for 5 teams, and you're like, oh my god, come on, man, like let's run this already. I think that
Yeah.
actually sucks. That might be worse than sorting, in my opinion.
That actually might be. You just gave me an idea for a skit that you can take. You could be like Tyrone Biggums and be like, "Man, we got 10 left. I'll suck." No, let's get this thing filled up.
Oh
Because you're
man,
right.
that's so
We
funny.
see it. We see it a lot on Fanatics Live. My guys on Fanatics Live, and it's just like 25 left. Like 25 left, 25
Hmm.
left. And it's like if you don't have momentum in those rooms, right? You're just like you got to create it somehow, and sometimes it's tough, right? It's an art to doing that to get that thing going. I
Yeah,
mean, if it's like a hot product like Prism or Optic, its release date usually fills itself. But like those days that
yep.
are like today, I mean, Chrome Platinum Anniversary will probably be like that at some point. Maybe not today, but probably tomorrow. It's like you get to
Mhm.
that point where you got to break it, but it's maybe lost a little bit of its like demand. So you're like getting creative, right? So
Yeah, big
it's
facts.
that is definitely one of the pain points. Like a lot of people think that our like breaking is just all about like opening, but there's so much more than that. Like the breaking is only like 10% of it, right?
Yeah, that is very true. That's very true. The
And
sorting, the
you're
picking, the packaging, the
yeah.
the posting of the break, the waiting to fill. God, like people think it's so easy. I wish it was just the breaking and everything filled instantly. Like that'd be so much fun.
I'm waiting for somebody to make an AI or a robot sorter, right? I mean, that would be amazing. We might be able to sell those things for like $250,000 to a breaking company, right? Like somebody that
Oh my
a robot that sorts all your cards. Sorry, people that work in the shipping department, but you know what I mean? Like it's like,
god.
like something that could like sort automatically. We got to get there at some point.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
So
crazy.
even though, sometimes sorting's fun. You can watch a movie or something and you can be sorting and
Yep. I actually
you
listen
know,
to music.
okay.
And this is actually something I've never shared. One of my go-to playlists while I'm sorting is listening to the Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Nice. It's
their
just like
whole
melodic and
yeah,
get you in
I
the
don't know
zone.
why. It's like their number one album, which is just a freaking greatest hits pretty much, you know. It's yeah, I don't know why I do that, but it's almost like automatic. I do that.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to do like feeling myself, and then you're like, like or like, tell me when to go, and you're like,
Yeah.
like,
You're over there
oh,
digging and
I
then
put
like
the
you're
I
gonna
put the
put the cards in the wrong place. Like it's crazy.
yeah. All of a sudden, the Hawks are in the Celtics now because you're just like shaking the dreads or something, right? So,
Oh man.
when you started out in the hobby, what do you wish you would have known when you started out compared to what you know now?
Oh man. I could tell you when it comes to breaking, probably be more wise with saving your money because clearly everyone was making so much money during the pandemic and obviously it's slower now. I mean, a lot of breakers and myself, we still do fine, but
Yeah.
you know, the pandemic was probably 10x. So imagine
Yes.
making tens and thousands of dollars in a month. And then because you're making that, you're just being irresponsible and just spending all of it. You're joining other people's breaks. You're trying to
Yep.
watch people do cases and snipe boxes. Like you're pursuing big things at that point. I wish someone would tell. Well, I'll be lying if I told you that my wife didn't say be more smart with your money. So maybe it's just more of a. I wish I would have listened. You know what I mean? I had people
Yeah, I'm the
telling me
same
that.
way. The wife is the voice of reason for me too. Like the FOTL during that time too. You'd be like
Oh,
$3,000 a box of Prism, and then you're like, "Whoa, I'm not even gonna make any money on this break because I paid so much to get it because there was so much FOMO on that stuff during that time period." But yeah,
or remember
it.
F1?
Oh God, yeah.
Man, F1 was
I
crazy.
still
I
have
can tell
one
you right
case of
now.
that stuff, but I wish I would have sold it because I was in at $55. So I put one case away. And it went up to like when the other one came out, it went up to like 5 grand a box. I think it's like
Yeah,
significantly lower now. But
yeah. That F1 2021, I think
yep.
that was the one where that was the largest profit margin I've ever had per cases. And I remember I moved like five of them in a week and a half. And I think that was the most I've ever made in a week and a half. And that did not even last long past the month, man. It's just ridiculous.
It is. I remember my distributor was like, "This new product's coming out." And I'm like, "Dude, no one's going to want that." He's like, "Well, let me put you in for like 6 cases at $55 a box." And I'm like, "All right." And then I
Yeah.
got it and I was like, "Holy crap. I probably could have asked for like 20 at the time." You know what I mean? But you're
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah, because like at the beginning, nobody saw that that's what it was going to do, right? And then it's like, oh,
Mhm.
Lewis Hamilton's first cards, and I think there was like a Tops Now card before that went for like $200 for a base, right? So people were hungry for it, and then all of a sudden it comes out, and it's like gangbusters. It's crazy.
I put my buddy a red checker flag out of five Verstappen portrait. And I think he
Jeez.
sold it for like, I think it was like 10 grand. And I was like, damn, that's sick, dude. But he proceeded the whole case. So, I mean, shit, he probably only made like 3 grand or whatever. You know what I mean? However much a case was
Yeah.
at the time. But still,
Right. Yeah,
that
it's a
was
massive
insane.
card. I mean, I think that's the problem with F1 is like there still hasn't like that was the first one and it's like still the same guys we're chasing. So it's like now it's like the third or fourth year of the same guys, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of fallen off a little bit. You got to have like the next guy and I don't think they've had that yet,
Yeah.
coming out. So got a few more questions. Won't keep you too long. Once the dust settles and it's 2027 and Fanatics has MLB, NFL, NBA licenses, what do you think will be the positive for collectors and what will suck?
Oh, man. The positive would be, man, I think that it's all under one umbrella, because like right
Yeah,
now, people who like Panini, I'm not hating if you like Panini baseball, but clearly it's not licensed, right?
right.
And same thing right now with like Wemby and all that stuff. I know people don't like it when companies turn into like a monopoly, but having all of them under one umbrella does make it a little more, I'd say, consistent. Um, and the negative would be it would suck for those other companies. You might see a lot of companies go downhill,
Right.
because they're going to lose business. If Panini once Panini loses NBA and NFL, I don't even know what the hell. Like, what would you even get? You know what I mean? And that sucks
World
for
Cup
them. You're not
soccer.
around. Oh yes,
Yeah.
soccer too.
Soccer.
Um,
I mean, I'm sure they're going to try at least to do some airbrushed NFL, but like without a PA and it's going to be tough. I know they have Arch Manning as an exclusive. I don't know if that's going to go away. I mean, I think he's 3 or 4 years away. It's going to be
oh, that's
crazy. I mean,
right.
one of the things that I seem to think that will pop will be, I think we already know that LeBron will have autos. Hopefully, he'll have logo mans in an NBA
Mhm.
uniform. But like, do we think there's a chance that we're going to have Jordan back
I
in with
was
autos and logo
just
mans?
I was just thinking that would be, man. If the hobby went crazy over that LeBron and Bronny dual auto with the idea that LeBron was signing again, imagine a logo man Jordan. That would break the internet. That,
That would
that would
break the
that would
internet.
break the hobby.
I mean, if there's one man that's going to make it happen, it's Mr. Rubin, right? I mean, I've heard stories about Jordan from old Upper Deck guys that he doesn't care. He only signs like 40 things a year at his convenience, and I don't know if there's enough money to get him to sign, but like, if it is going to happen, I think we have our best chance. Could you imagine? Like, they probably won't make Flawless. I don't know if Panini's going to go to the grave with those, those basically those IPs, but like, could you imagine like a dual logo man of those guys again, or like Jordan, LeBron, Steph, or Jordan, LeBron? Maybe
You
we
know
get
what's funny?
Kobe back.
I was waiting for you to finish your sentence so I could say Jordan, LeBron, and Steph would be crazy.
It would be nuts,
No,
right?
yeah,
Because now
man.
we've had the three LeBrons, and that went on Golden. We got lucky and pulled the LeBron, Curry,
I've
Luca, but
seen
like,
that. That was a good pull.
that was
That was a good
crazy, but
pull.
like it didn't. I mean, that was like significantly lower than the LeBron, right? I mean, obviously the pandemic,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like, they can't top it now, like because they don't have Kobe. Like Vanessa's holding on to his license, and they don't have
Right.
Jordan, and they don't have LeBron's autos. But it's like maybe that'll change, give that like crazy high end chase again, which would be just nuts.
Yeah, that would be big time. That'd be big time.
What's your Bay Area card PC Mount Rushmore, players or cards?
Oh man, Mount Rushmore. I'd probably say Jerry Rice, Barry Bonds,
Nice.
Montana. Um, see, like I'm saying, because I'm thinking. I would say, I'm not a Warrior fan. I'm actually not a Warrior fan. If you didn't know that.
So you wanted to say Steph, but you can't really say him.
Yeah, so Steph would obviously be. I think those four actually. Those four are pretty solid. Steph,
Yeah,
Montana, Rice, and Barry.
I can't dispute that. My Barry's my guy. I have
Which
a big Barry
I'm sure
Bonds
people
PC,
from
so
yeah,
I
people
can't
like
dispute that.
true baseball heads that don't live in the Bay Area are probably throwing up right now with the idea that we love Barry Bonds. And I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't give a
I
damn.
don't either, man.
I don't give a
Dude,
damn.
I've been done so many podcasts. I call the Hall of Fame a clown show now. It's just like, it's been like I watched him grow up. It would be one of those things. I mean, I grew up, I watched him. I was like, if you were at a Giants game when he was playing, it didn't matter if the Giants were down like 9-1 and it was seventh. You're like, is Barry going to bat again? Okay. Yeah, he's going to bat in the eighth. Okay.
Yeah.
You're staying. You had to see a Barry Bonds at bat. And like, I know we won championships after that, but like, during that time, it was like there was nobody more electric to want to see than Barry. I mean, he was either a home run or a walk. That's what was happening.
Yeah. I grew up right next to Candlestick as well. So I,
Nice.
I remember when they played at Candlestick with like, in the Niners too. So that was yeah, man. Barry Bonds is my favorite. I'd wear a Barry Bonds jersey any day of the week.
I've been looking for one. You can't order them on MLB. If you want to go like the knockout off route, you can order them on eBay, but you're like, I don't know how that's going. It's probably going to be an XL, but it's going to fit like a medium, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
my
it's
buddy
it's,
was
it's
just wearing one. He was just wearing one. Damn, I should have asked him where he got it from actually. Yeah, but
yeah,
he
yeah.
was also one at a party a couple weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah, I got to get me one, dude. But let's get into some hot takes. We got some rapid fire, one word answers. So we'll get it started. It's kind of all over the place here, but Luca or Ant-Man?
Yeah, man.
Prism or Optic?
I'm gonna say optic. Love rated rookie. I know I'm only supposed to say one word answers, but I love rated rookies.
That's good. Go ahead. You could definitely expand on it. NT or Flawless?
NT. NT. True
The
RPAs.
the RPAs, right?
Flawless. You're really just chasing the logo, man, which NT does have. But at least you could still hit the true out of 99. So I'd say
Yeah,
NT.
I agree. I'm old school with that too. I think Flawless really gained more momentum during the pandemic, but it was always NT before that. So,
Yeah.
PYTs or randoms?
Oh, PYTs. PYTs. I've joined randoms and I'm just like, well, I don't want to say it's a waste of money, but it's
Yeah.
so rough when you don't even hit a good team. I'd rather just spend the extra and get a team. And if I don't hit nothing, well, at least I knew what team I have.
At least you're in control, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, that was about to be my first F. Oh my god, man, it's so tough. We could literally do 30 minutes on why each one could be the GOAT. You know,
Yep.
I honestly look at them like 1A, 1B. I grew up watching Michael Jordan as a kid. Obviously, I'm 33, so you know, I was still young, but I remember watching Jordan, and even on VHS we recorded the games. Oh my god, I hate this question. I hate it.
I think for me, it's easy to go Jordan because of I'm a Warrior fan. So I mean, you had those rivalries
Oh
with
yeah,
LeBron.
it, I think with me it's Jordan at his peak, but LeBron has just had the I can't even say better career, but like the
Longevity,
longer, more
right? Yeah.
consistent, and and I will say this, you know, Jordan or uh, Jordan, arguably the greatest player of all time. He had the greatest coach of all time, and he had arguably the greatest team of all time. And LeBron didn't. So, you know, if you had LeBron on in those situations, you know, I think he
Right.
could be he'll have just as many rings. But that's just my opinion. Please
Have a
don't get
Scottie
on me
Pippen
for
on
that,
his team
y'all.
too, you know?
Yeah.
BGS or PSA?
PSA.
Yeah,
PSA. That was
I
like
don't
my
even know.
vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I had that on the last podcast I did, and I'm like, I don't even know why I put him on there. I mean, it's like it
I
should be like PSA or PSA almost. I mean,
I do like the BGS black label, but I'm just not a fan of the blocky thick slabs. PSA is
yeah.
obviously a lot slimmer, so I'd say PSA.
That and if you start getting those silvers, like you get the nines, or then for God forbid you get the eights, it's like all different colors in your box. You know what I mean? PSA is like all the same color,
Yeah, that's
regardless of the
true.
grade. So,
That is true.
E40 or Mac Dre?
Oh, you're an asshole for this. That's crazy. You are. I can't believe you would make me pick between Mac Dre and E40. What kind of show are we running here, Doug? What are we doing here, man?
The Vallejo's finest. You got to pick the hillside or the crest side.
Oh my god. Um. Oh man. It's
That's
you know
almost
what?
like a Jordan LeBron of the Bay, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I grew up listening to E40 because my mom was young and she's from San Francisco. She's like the same age as like Snoop Dogg and all that. So I literally grew up with all that stuff. So I grew up with E40, and when I got closer to high school and beyond, it was a lot more Mac Dre. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It
say
was a
both. There's
movement.
no way in hell I'm picking. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I remember One Love, E40 in a major way. Actually, I have the record behind me there. That's kind of what got me started on E40, then the Click and stuff like that. But then, like, I remember my
Yep.
cousin was like, "Dude, there's this guy. He's doing a record in jail. His name's Mac Dre. Like, recorded from the phone." That was one of his first, like, the Romper Room gang, right? And then
Yep.
all of a sudden, like, Get Stupid and Feeling Yourself and Ronald
Yep.
Reagan came out, and it was like,
Yeah. Boss
yeah, I mean,
Tycoon.
yeah,
Too hard
yep,
for the
yep,
radio.
yep.
Oh,
That was
actually,
the
here you
first
want to know a
single.
little. You want to know a little trivia? I don't think I've shared this. My dad was actually locked up with Mac Dre.
No way. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I remember I asked him before.
Not
I was
amazing that it
like,
was locked up, but it's amazing that he was with
yeah.
Mac Dre.
I asked him. I go, do you think he would remember you? He goes, yeah, dude. Like we played football together, and I was like, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. But you know
And
what?
for a guy that likes,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for a guy that likes satire, Mac Dre clearly had more satire in his music than E40 too, right? So
I I I will say I did comment saying that Mac Dre was like high school. I mean, tell me when to go, and that whole album that E40 did, that was a big part of my high school too. You know what I mean? Like that was
right,
I remember when Tell Me When to Go dropped, and that was like my generation's I Got Five on it, where like everybody
yeah,
in the country knew I Got Five on it, and everyone knew Tell Me When to Go. You know, that's like top five Bay Area song, in my opinion, just because of the reach that it had at a time where the Bay Area, I mean, still to this day, Bay Area music isn't really on the map like that. you know.
No,
Where
it still kind of like feels
we
like it's
live in our
underground.
own bubble, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
because I'm a little older than you. I think I got 5 on it would be like the Bay Area anthem, but I could think you
yeah,
could make the argument that Tell Me When to Go, 1A, 1B. I mean, some people may even say Hyphy, Keep the Sneak is up there in the top
uh-huh,
5.
yep,
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, because like some people disparage E40 for the fact that he didn't like Mac Dre, and then when Mac passed away, Tell Me When to Go,
oh
he
yeah.
references Mac Dre. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of like Bay
To be
Area
honest, that's
purists. They're
usually
like he,
yeah, that's usually how it is. Like once someone passes, it's like, oh damn, you know what I mean? Unfortunately.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah. And one more thing about the Bay Area music before we move on. We are so in our own bubble that we grow up listening to this music, thinking that everyone knows it, and they don't,
yeah.
which is
They
crazy. That's
don't.
why I
No.
was so shocked when "Tell Me When to Go" would be on 106 in Park at number 7, and I'm thinking like, ain't this the biggest song in the country? And it
Right.
clearly ain't. You know, like all the stuff, even the whole hyphy movement, like D-Lo, all that stuff. I thought it was a lot wider, but the older I got, I'm like, yeah, the Bay is just in our own bubble. Culture, music,
Mm-hmm.
art, like we just don't give a damn about anybody else. We just do our own
Well,
thing, you know.
did you
I
watch
love that.
Did you watch CMC? You watch CMC,
Of
right? The music
course.
channel, Chewy Gomez.
But
Yeah,
check this
I
out.
mean,
I would watch CMC. It was either before or after Arthur. You
yeah,
remember
nice.
Arthur?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. I remember reading the Arthur books, but I remember getting home. I feel like it was just like right after school. CMC
It
started. It was
was.
like 3
It was.
o'clock, 3:30 or something.
Yep. Shout out Chewy Gomez, Bay
Yep,
Area
Chewy's the
legend.
best. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. I got an Adapt shirt that says CMC for Christian McCaffrey, but it's a play on,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, CMC.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that and was it the block, the one you used to be able to call in to request a song at like night. It was like you call in, you type in, and now maybe I'm dating myself here, but like a lot of it was Bay Area centric. You'd like they'd have the number on the bottom of the screen, and you call in and you pay like $1 to play a music video, and it was mostly all Bay Area, but it was like
Oh,
super late
damn.
at night.
I don't. I don't think I remember that one.
I think it was
I
called the
don't think I
Block.
remember that one.
I can't remember the name. All right, here's something that people know: Drake or Kendrick.
Kendrick. Because
Yeah,
even though I've been a Drake fan longer, if I had to pick, I mean Kendrick has referenced Bay Area music, Bay Area artists since the very beginning of when I've heard him. He
yeah,
shot the music all right in Oakland. Even though Drake did the motto, because I know people say, "Oh, he did the motto," which was awesome,
yeah.
right? But Kendrick always does it. You know, even on like that, the initial record that started this whole diss, he said, you know, can't be legit, no 40 water. Like, come on, man. It's E40 and his brother be legit. Like that's he was already referencing the Bay in that. So I gotta go Kendrick, but I will say they're two different artists. They're it's not even fair to compare them,
And Drake
in my
stole
opinion.
Rappin' Forte's verse and got sued for that. I don't know if you remember Players Club by Rappin'
He did.
Forte.
He did.
I guess he didn't ask
But
him if he'd use it, and he took it.
I am a Drake fan. Yeah, I am a Drake fan, so I don't want that to be confused. I'm a still like Drake, but they're two different artists.
They totally
You
are.
know, are you a wrestling fan, like a pro wrestling fan?
I was heavily into it, like the Generation X, like the Attitude Era, with Triple
Uh,
H and Road Dogg and The
yeah.
Rock coming up. I watch it when I can, but not as much as I was when I was in high school.
So I asked that because the way I compare it for anyone who likes wrestling listening to this, Drake is like sports entertainment, while Kendrick is professional wrestling.
Yeah,
If so, to kind of double down on that, sports entertainment is like the Hulk Hogan's, the John Cena's, where they're larger than life, popular, but when it comes to like their wrestling, they're very limited. While
right.
you have people like Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, who are like actual
Rey
professional
Mysterio.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be like Kendrick, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're kind of more comparing him like mainstream, right? He's more mainstream, more pop.
Yeah,
Drake is closer to like Taylor Swift, where Kendrick is closer to like Black Alicious or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like he's a good lyricist, right? I think that's
Or
kind of
someone made a good. I mean, the number one comparison there. Even they talk about Michael Jackson and Prince.
yeah.
That's 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 almost a perfect comparison.
It is. I actually really like that one. Too
Yeah.
Short or G Easy?
Oh man. I mean, people listening to this, by the way, they're like, "What the hell are they talking about right now?"
Who's G
I thought this was
Easy?
about sports cards.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta go with Too Short, but I got a lot of love for G-Eazy because on a mainstream level for the Bay, he's probably like number one right now. So he's putting
Yeah.
on for the Bay, but I'm sure he would say Too Short himself. So I don't think this is a disrespectful thing. But like
Yeah, I mean he's
when
still in the
he
prime. It's like prime, right? Too Short's like playing. Like I hate to say this, but Too Short's like in the big three right now, and G Easy's still got an NBA kind of
yeah,
career going, right?
yeah.
That's what sucks when
And
you get old. You
G-Eazy,
get old. It's hard to have like a number one hit. It's like everybody gravitates toward the younger guys, right?
yeah, and G-Eazy, shout out to him because he performed at the VMAs with Britney Spears. And I'm like, is that the first Bay Area artist to ever perform at the VMAs before? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I thought that
Yeah.
was cool, you know?
Yeah, and he
So,
had that song with BB Rexa and Halsey. I mean, he's definitely crossed over in the mainstream a little bit more.
yeah,
Pizza or burgers?
pizza.
Yeah, can't go wrong with
And I
pizza.
will say I'm a cheese pizza guy. So go ahead, make fun of me. I'm a cheese pizza guy. I don't know why, but I just like cheese pizza.
No, I've morphed into that. It's a lot cleaner. You know what I mean? I used to be like a combo guy, like younger, but now it's like, you start dropping the sausages or the olives all over the place. The cheese is cleaner, man. You don't get it on your shirt as easy. It's
Yeah, I will
it's
say
usually
that
consistent.
a lot of pizza purists, which that sounds fucking crazy to even say
Like
pizza
Dave
purists,
Portnoy.
but they rate pizzas by their or pizza shops by their cheese pizza.
Yep,
If
yep.
that makes sense. So
Yeah, because it's the most basic way, right? You can't really like spice it up with like
yeah,
artichoke or something on it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you
yeah.
can't hide anything.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make the good sauce, the good cheese, and cook it at the right temp, right? So,
Yeah,
what else do we got? You came back from Disneyland. Anna or Elsa?
man. Something about those redheads, man. I gotta go on.
What would your daughter say?
Oh, Elsa. Elsa. I'll
Yeah,
tell you right now, my 3-year-old says she's Elsa, and she automatically volunteers my 2-year-old to be Anna.
nice.
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna
that's
say
kind of.
I'm
I have a
sorry.
9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and one's blonde and one's brown. So Elsa and Anna,
Oh,
basically. That's
yeah, there
good.
you go. That's easy.
Yep, that's easy for sure. Fanatics Fest or the Natty?
Mm, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go Fanatics Fest. I'm gonna go Fanatics Fest because of the type of festivals that Ruben compared it to kind of give people an idea of what to expect. He brought
Yeah,
up Comic Con, South by Southwest, Complex Con, like, and that's stuff that's like my cup of tea. I'm not saying the
yeah.
Nationals ain't. I like traditional card shows, but I'm not gonna lie to you. There's times where I'm walking around and I'm like, God, I wish they were bumping some music up in here or
I
something.
know.
Like make it a little more like I don't want to say hip, but you know what I mean, like
Oh,
just
totally. I know what
make
you
it more
mean.
cool. And that's what I'm expecting. And if it ain't like that, well then. But he said
I
like the
think it's
big
the intrigue. I
rapper
mean, I've
fest.
done like, and I'm with you. If you ask me this, I'm saying Fanatics Fest, and I've been to 10 nationals now. I mean, for one, people don't wear deodorant there, so that's a big problem. But for two, it's definitely like in its lane, and it hasn't progressed because you've got. And if I was that age demographic, that I was been at the national for 30 years, those guys get grandfathered into where their booths are. I would love that too. Maybe it's nostalgic for me, but like I feel like it hasn't changed like and the Breaker Pavilion, we've tried many different ways to like make it work. I mean, being from California, we always have to travel pretty far, whether it be
Yeah,
Cleveland,
yeah, yeah.
Chicago, or Atlantic City. And like honestly, like we're sitting there trying to break there, and it's like no, people that are there don't want to watch me open up cards. They want to get their own boxes to open. They want to go to Panini's booth. They want to go to Upper Deck or wherever Tops, or they want to get in line for their favorite athlete. And it's like
Yep.
it like don't make this breaker thing like anything that people want to do when they're out. Breaking is supposed to be when you're like sitting at home, you put the kids to bed, or you have some spare time and you can get on something from your phone or your laptop. Like having like me break in public is like, who cares? You know, honestly.
I will say though, I want to bring a big show to the Bay Area. That's one of my main goals, and because I feel like, well, I don't want to like toot my own horn or come off like I'm full of myself, but I feel like I'm one of the top content people in the hobby. If you ask me, I I don't think I would honestly tell you that I feel like I'm the best one in my personal opinion, right? Which if you don't agree, if you're watching, totally fine because
Yeah.
I'm probably cool with your favorite content creator, so it's not enough. But
Yeah.
it's more of like I want to use my reach to bring more eyes to the Bay, and I said that when I was on David Adams. I say it all the time on my posts because there's not you see certain content creators go to certain shows, right? All the time on Instagram, you see them.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen them come to a Bay Area show,
No.
and there must be a reason for that. And I'm not saying the shows here are bad in any way. I think they're awesome, but I want to help bring more reach and bring all those people to our home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of my main goals. For real.
Let's do it. You run it. We'll help. Let's make it happen, man.
I'm down. I'm down.
Where would you do it at? Would it be San Francisco? Would it be San Jose? Would it be Oakland? I mean, where do you like Santa Clara? Like where?
Well, as someone from San Francisco, I think it would mean a lot more to me to bring it to San Francisco. But as someone who's trying to put on for the Bay as a collective, I don't care. I wouldn't even care.
I mean, the Cow Palace. What do you think about the show? The Cow Palace is right there. I mean, that's kind of.
Oh my God, that was. I did a video about that show because I grew up, in Visitation Valley, right next to. I was in between Cow Palace and Candlestick, and it is not the best area. And I did a video telling people like, everyone's gonna go Cow Palace. There's a liquor store across the street. Don't go past that liquor store because that's the Sunnydale Project. Don't let it fool you. Don't go over there. But I would love to do it in the Cow Palace. Oh my God. Just even the smell of the Cow Palace, it's so nostalgic for me. I watched wrestling there, the circus, Ringling Brothers, Disney on Ice, all that stuff, man. I learned how to ride my bike in the parking lot, actually.
Nice. So, yeah, we got to do. I mean, we've got some big events happening. We've got the Super Bowl in a couple of years and the World Cup. Perfect times to have like people are going to be traveling here to have a huge show like around that time.
If you guys are coming to the Bay Area, do not leave things in your rental car. All right?
No.
Do not leave things in your rental car. It'll get dipped. Dipped means it will break into the car and take your passport, your suitcase, your laptop. Do not leave it in. Don't even leave it in your trunk. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude! I went to in Santa Clara. It was like 6 months ago. I was at. We're getting off topic, but the Rock Steakhouse, right? And we were actually eating on the patio. My car was probably like 6 cars away from where I was eating, and I had a Toomey bag, but nothing was in it. But I did have an air tag in it. They broke my window, took the Toomey bag, so I got outside, and I'm like, oh man, like I didn't even think I had my bag in the car, and then I started tracking it, and because I had an air tag. And it was in Oakland after that. And I called the Oakland PD and I was like, hey, my bag's in Oakland. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, what we can do is we can escort you to the house and you can knock on the door and ask them if they have your bag. But if they say no, then we can't do anything. And I'm like, it was like a $200 bag. I'm like, and I didn't have anything in it. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. But I'm like, for you guys, I'm sure that's not the only thing that they have of stolen merchandise. Like, you guys might want to go check because here's the address. I have it on my phone. So
that's what I'm saying. What's crazy is if they say no, but you have like proof
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
on your
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Like, yeah, like how does that even make sense? Like that's so stupid.
Yeah, they
That is
just,
so
I don't
stupid.
think they really wanted to deal with it, or at least the person I was talking to. So I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't have
definitely
anything
not.
valuable in there. I went and bought another one. The window was more expensive than the bag because I had to wait, and I have a Tesla, so I had to get that thing fixed. And
Oh man, hey,
for
that's
like
why.
for 3 weeks.
Would be the perfect car in the Bay Area? Those cyber trucks, because the windows are supposed to be indestructible.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you want to
I
promote
want one.
that
My
in
wife thinks it's ugly, but
if you want to promote that in the Bay Area, make a video of someone trying to break into it and dip it, and it doesn't work. You will sell thousands.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
God.
the video of Elon throwing the baseball and it breaking, I think,
Oh
is
my
not a
God,
great
that
video.
is so funny, dude. That video is hilarious. So, you know what video that reminds me of? Have you ever seen Ray J, where he's talking about these glasses and he's like, "You can't break them," and the dude interviewing him is, "I could break them." He goes, "Here, break them." He goes, I'm not going to, but I could." He goes, "No, you can't break them. They're indestructible. Break them." And he went like this, and it broke, and he went like this.
Right.
Uh, I was like, "What just happened?" I'm gonna send
It's
you
like
that link, dude. It's so funny. It's
that's
because
so
it's
funny.
facial.
Unintentional sapphire, right? Or satire. So
Yeah, yeah. That was.
that's amazing, dude.
And he just went like that, and it snapped, and I was like, "What the hell?"
That's amazing. Well, I'll let people know they can find you on Instagram. Nature loves you. You got some cool shirts. Unfortunately, they're only in schmedium that are
Yeah,
left.
they kind of
I
run
had
out
them right
pretty
here. You're
quick.
wearing one. I was about to
Yeah,
hit one up, but I mean, I don't think people want to see the belly, so I got to wait for the next drop and get the XL.
I yeah, I made our own. This is obviously my own version of like the Supreme Box logo.
Yep,
Obviously the font is actually Panini's like
it is.
font,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
my buddy had to custom design. Everything we do is like custom. I did a color blast hoodie, and that was a custom color blast that my buddy designed. So everything
Nice.
we do is custom. Um, and yeah, it's kind of dope. My merch tends to go pretty quick, especially the big boy
Yeah, I
sizes.
see that you got like a
A lot of big
NBA
boys in the
Finals.
hobby.
Yeah, that dude, there needs to be more merch in the hobby. Like, you have like an NBA Finals one coming up, right? Like,
Yeah, that
you
drops on
previewed.
Friday. And what's
Nice.
cool with that one is it's the retro. Let's see. I don't know if I could pull it up on my phone because it might, like the clarity. But
Yeah.
it's the old like 1998 uh logo. And what's cool is that the Larry O'Brien, I had my buddy remove the ball and put a heart on it.
Nice. Yeah, that
You
looks
can
dope,
see
man.
it. Yeah, that's
That's sick. I'll
I
have to
really
hop
like
on
that
there on
one.
Friday and make sure I get one.
Oh, I got you, bro. Just DM me the size. I got you.
Sweet. Heck yeah, man. I'll be wearing that. I went on Homage to buy a bunch of like Bowman and Top shirts because you got to have some hobby shirts when you're online and stuff. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely
What's
rock that
cool,
thing.
I love when people hit me up and they're at shows and they go, "Oh, there's people wearing your merch." And I'm like, "That's sick. That's
Yep.
sick."
Yeah, that's like it's just like branding, it's advertising, and if they just like the design, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dope, man.
All right, well, before we let you go, let people know where they can follow you and some of the things you got coming up. We just mentioned the shirt, but some other stuff that you got coming up.
Yeah, so obviously Nature Loves You on Instagram, Nature LUVZYOU. And the things coming up, I have some things that I'm supposed to talk about even like this or talk with the other companies this week. So can't really say it just yet, but just know that
Stay tuned.
there might be some things coming, and your boy is putting in the work to
Nice.
get it done. So yeah, just look out. But I mean, yeah, if you guys like comedy, funny skits, I even do like the floating head news type stuff too. I do a lot of stuff. You'll find something you like if you go to my page.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're in the hobby, you got to follow this, man. I mean, I know you collab with Lamim James, which is another great content creator. So if you've already
Bay
liked Lamim
Area,
James stuff, you got to follow
Bay
Nature.
Area. He's a Bay
Yep.
Area head too. A lot of people don't know that. He's
I
a Bay
didn't know
Area
that.
head.
He's so anonymous. I don't even know what he looks like. So I just know that his content's hilarious.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to give Lamine his flowers, man, because obviously a lot of people in the hobby know Lamine James, right? Especially since the pandemic. I always felt like my content was good enough. I just needed the reach, and he's helped me more than you could imagine, even just by collabing with me, because it almost self validated how I felt about my own work, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Because
Because you're getting his approval.
yeah, and it's not even that. I'm getting the approval of all the people who follow him. You know what I mean? Like
Nice. Yeah.
he, if I feel like, oh yeah, my stuff is good, but just not a lot of people are seeing it. And when I collab with him, 10x more people are seeing it, and the reception is so well. It makes me believe like I knew it. I knew my stuff was good. I just need the reach. That's all I needed, and he's
Yep.
helped me so much with that, man. So fucking shout out to Lamine James for real.
He's a beast, man, and it makes me proud that he is from the Bay, and all of this hobby love. Even if you're not from the Bay, we've always been about like working together with people because your reach gets bigger with whoever you work with. We've worked with like Leighton and breaks and stuff, and we try to keep like rather than be like everybody's competition and I gotta get all the views and all the like. No, you got to expand and like make this thing family. You know what I mean? So like that's how everybody
I'll
grows.
tell you right now, if you're a breaker or a content person, if you're scared to shout other people out or post other people like your friends' work to your page, then you might be not as confident in yourself as you think you are. That's all
Exactly.
I'm gonna say. Because I repost all my friends' stuff all the time because I'm not. I would never have the mentality where, oh, if I post this, maybe uh, my followers are gonna start supporting them and not me. Like,
Right.
come on, dude, that shit is easy.
Yeah.
Like, look out for your people. Put your people on. Like, if you're cool
Right.
with other content people, breakers, like, post. Like, I don't give a shit if you're a breaker and your buddy needs help trying to fill a break. I mean, as long as it's not the same product, right? I get it.
Sure.
But post your friend's break. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough to go around for everybody in the hobby. Like, that's why I'm big on supporting the people who support me.
Yep. I always looked at it this way, man. You got to grow the pie, and the only way you can grow the pie is to have your friends and other businesses that do the same thing, do the up and up, grow it together, and we create a bigger pie for everybody to eat. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own. And we were one of the first breakers in 2010. It wasn't anybody even had a website, and if it remained that way, like we would have never grown. Like we had to have other people to grow the hobby. Like we're like, oh, we're gonna keep this secret sauce of like PYT breaks back in 2010. Like, no, like other people have to come in. We need to help them to like learn and take what we've done and take our examples and like grow this thing to where more people hear about it. Because just not that maybe you're centralized in one area, you're not gonna be able to like tell the whole world about what you do and grow this whole thing 10x. So
Yep, I agree. I mean, can I just shout someone out real quick?
Absolutely.
I think Naka, if you know Naka in the Bay Area.
Yes.
He is one of the most entertaining breakers that I've seen yet. And I think he deserves way more eyes on him than he does. I'm not saying, in no way am I saying like he's doing bad. I just mean like I want to shout him out because I think he deserves a lot more. And he's one of the nicest guys, one of the most entertaining people.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah, I think I DM'd him like years ago. So I hadn't even heard of him, and I had Rip Pack and Slab do a song for Mojobreak because then I realized Javid Best is one of the guys, which I was collecting his cards back in 2010. Separate note, but then I saw that they were working with him, and I started watching his breaks. I'm like, dude, this guy's got the energy, man. This guy is hilarious, creative, very good.
Yeah. I want to shout him out, man.
Where's he? He's like an Alameda, right?
Yeah.
Is he like an Alameda? Yeah. Nice place over there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end the recording, man. I appreciate you jumping on. Everybody's got to follow Nature Loves You on Instagram. I'm sure we'll do some more stuff together. We got to get a big card show going, or at least you do, and then we'll jump on and have a booth or something. We got to do something, man.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% down. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.